Alright, hello, welcome back. Welcome back to our review kit on performance management. Okay, so let's look at this question. This question is on linear programming. Okay, so question three it says now, drafted from a past question. Trace Nigeria Limited, a company based in Aba, produces industrial wood, varnish, not wood, sorry, varnish. The selling price and associated unit variable cost for varnish, grade A and grade B are shown below. So we have grade A for varnish and grade B for varnish. We are given the individual selling price for each of them. Then, of course, our material, skilled labor, unskilled labor, variable overhead is for per machine hour. The fixed overhead cost is 600,000 naira per month, and the company plans to maximize profit. Okay, let's look at it. Then it says, available resources for the following month is material X is 2,500 kg, skilled labor is 4,800 hours, unskilled labor 39 hours, machine hours is 5,000 hours. Required: identify the objective function and the constraint to be used in a linear programming model to determine the optimum production plan for the what for the following month. Produce using simultaneous equation the optimum production plan and the resulting profit for the following month. Okay. Then next, management is considering negotiating overtime worker with both skilled and unskilled labor. Advise management what maximum amount should be offered per hour overtime separately for skilled labor and for skilled labor. 5 marks. Assume the company has choice of producing either grade A or varnish or grade B but not both. Calculate which grade of varnish should be produced in order to maximize contribution. What quantity should be produced and the resulting total what contribution. Okay, so 20 marks on linear programming. Let's go and solve. Okay, so alright, come in, open an Excel sheet and let's solve together. So we take one at a time. Okay, Excel. Okay, alright, so alright, so let's look at it together. So we have Twins Nigeria. Alright, so the first one is they ask us to formulate the uh linear programming. Let me check what the question specifically asked for. Sorry. Alright, where are you? What's the A part of the question? Okay, identify the objective function and constraint. So we have objective function and constraints. So constraints. So let's go and solve that. Constraints. Okay. So to do that, what we'll do is this. We have the first thing we are going to calculate is for each of those to get our objective function. We need to do what? We need to, that's very simple. We need to calculate contribution for both. Then we'll come up with our what? Objective function. So let's first, the first small like workings that we have is to calculate what? Objective function. Calculate the objective function. Objective function. So to calculate our objective function, what do? We have let's have, so we have grade A and grade B, and then of course we can learn how to calculate contribution by now. Grade A, grade B. So let's have our selling price, sales or selling price. Okay, how much is it? So alright, so let's look at it. How much is our sales or selling price? Alright, selling price is 2-1, so let's have that. 2-1. Okay, next we have what? We have 1-5 for grade B, so we get that down. 2-1-1-5. Okay, next you have what? Less your different variable cost. So less what? Less variable cost. So we have materials. How much is our material? Material is 480, 240, 480, 480, and 240. Okay. Next, labor. So labor is broken into two. We have skilled and unskilled labor. So let's start from skilled labor. Skilled labor is how much? Okay, so let's count our skilled labor. Skilled labor is how much? 720 and 288. 720 and 288. Okay, next we have our what? We have our unskilled labor. Unskilled labor is how much? Let's check. Unskilled is 120, 180, 120 and 180. Okay, then lastly we have what? We have variable overhead. So that means variable overhead is how much? 168 and what? 338. So 168 and 338. So let's add up all our variable costs together, remove from our sales to get our what? Our contribution. Okay. Alright. So so let's add this up. So this will give me a total of 1488. Okay, so minus 1488. Sorry. 1488. Okay. And this will be how much? Let's add this up. This is 1046 minus 1046. 1046. 1046. Okay. If we move that from our selling price or sales, our contribution for each will be what? 21 minus 1488. If you press your calculator, give you 612. And for this one, it will give us what? 456. 456. Okay. So that's that. So that's our contribution. So our objective function is going to be simple. The function is want to maximize contribution. So maximize C equals to what? C equals to. So you pick 612, want to maximize 612 of what? Of A plus what? Plus contribution of 456 of B. That's how to get your what? Your objective function. 456 of what? Of B. Okay, so alright, sorry, okay. Alright, let me alright, so let's okay, so alright, so equals to, let me put it here, C equals to, okay, sorry, C equals to, alright, so equals to, so that's our objective function. Then we now draw a constraint subject to what? Subject to, we now do each of those constraints that we have. So first we start from material X. So for material X, how we get the constraint is very simple. We have what? Let's go back to the question. So for material A, we have now, sorry, for material X, not material A, sorry, we have 240 per kg, and grade A is going to use 480, grade B is going to, so we are going to divide this 480 by how much we use per kg. So 480 divided by 240 will give us what? 2. That means we are going to use 2 of what? 2 of grade A. So this will be 2A plus, then what's for B? B is 240. 4 divided by 240 will give us what? 1 plus 1 of what? 1 of B. Okay. So that's our first one for material. Next we have for skilled labor. Skilled labor. Okay. So for skilled labor, let's check it out. We have how much? We have 144 per hour. So 720 divided by 144 for A, that will give us what? 5A. So we have 5A. You can confirm 5A plus what? Plus, okay. Then what's for the second one? Grade B. 280 divided by 144 will give us what? 2 plus 2B. Okay. Then let's be putting, okay. Then that will be now less than or equal to. Let's put our other one. So you now do. I'm looking for less than. Where's this? Yeah. So give me a minute. Okay. So less than or equals to. Okay. Less than or equals to. So let's look at, to go back to the question, what are the maximum we have for each one? What are the maximum material we have? So for our material, the maximum they give us is 25. So equals to, less than or equals to what? 2,500. Okay. This one will be less than or equals to, okay. So that's the first one is 25. The second one is what? Let's look at skilled labor. Is we only have a maximum of 4,800 hours. Okay. All right. So 4,800 hours. Let's look at the next one. Then unskilled labor. Unskilled labor will be what? Let's calculate that. So unskilled labor is, let's go back. Unskilled labor is 120 divided by 16 naira per hour. That's 2. So we have 2A plus what? Plus what's B? So B is what? B is going to be 180 divided by 60 will give us what? 3B. So plus 3B. Okay. Then less than or equals to what? Less than or equals to, what's the total number of hours that we have? That's 3,900 hours. 3,900 hours. Okay. Then lastly we have what? We have for machine hours, which is available overhead. Machine hours. Okay. All right. So for our machine hours, how much do we have? Machine hours is what? So for machine hours, we have 168 divided by 84. That will give us what? That will give us 2. So 2a, that's 2a plus, okay, 2a plus. Then we have what? 330 divided by 84 will give us what? Will give us 4 plus 4b, okay? Then less than or equals to what? Less than or equals to, what's our total amount here? We have how much? 5,000 hours. 5,000 hours. Okay, so 5,000. So these are our what? Our constraints. Then lastly, we have to do our what? Our non-negativity. So non-negativity is very simple. Non-negativity, that does not change. You just tell them that A and B must be what? Must be greater than or equals to. That means I think that it cannot be negative. Must be greater than or equals to what? Sorry, must be greater than or equals to 0. Or equals to 0. Alright. So that's our non-negative. So that's the 5 marks we have just gotten. The first part. The second part is now that with simultaneous equation, right? Let's check the question. Alright, so I've produced the optimal, then produces the optimum production plan and resulting profit for the month. To do that, we have to first identify the binding constraints, which is what we are going to solve with the simultaneous equation. But in this question, it's not so difficult. Look at it. It says management is considering negotiating overtime work with both skilled and unskilled labor. That means that's the constraint, that's the challenge they have. They have issues with skilled and unskilled labor. We are going to pick our skilled and what? Unskilled labor. We are going to solve with what? Simultaneous equation. So let's go and pick the equation for our skilled and unskilled labor, and we use that to solve. Okay, so we are looking at the B part now. Okay, so we have so skilled is what? 5a plus 2b is less than or equals to what? Or equals to 4,800. And for B, we have what? We have 2a plus 3b less than or equals to what? Or equals to 3,900. Alright, so those are the two that we have. So what we do is this will be called our equation 1 and equation 2, just like we do normal mathematics for simultaneous equation 1 and equation 2. Now what we need to do is we want to subtract, we have to get equation 3. That means we need one of these variables to be the same, either 5a or 2b. So but let's do for 5a, which looks like the simplest one that we can use to achieve. So for 5a, we are going to multiply to get, this is already 5a. To get 2a to 5a, we multiply by 2.5. Let's multiply this 2a by 2.5 to give us 5a for both. So the next is we'll multiply equation 2 by what? By 2.5. So if we multiply by 2.5, so 2.5 times 2a will give us what? 5a plus 2.5 times 3 will give us how much? Give us 7.5. We have 7.5b. Okay, then it will be what? Less than or equals to what? Okay, so we now do equals to what? Equals to what? Equals to 39 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 2.5. That will give you 9,750. Please you can confirm with your calculator. 9,750. Okay, so these are what? Equation 3. Okay, so we call this equation what? Equation 3. The next step to solve is very simple. We now deduct equation 1 from equation 3. So we have equation 3 minus equation 1. That will give us what? That will give us our figure. So equation 3, 5a minus 5a will give us what? Just a. Okay, that one. So let's just call that 0 because it would negate each other out. 7.5 minus 2.5. So 0 plus what? 7.5 minus 2.5 will give us what? Will give us 5 points. No, minus 2, sorry, will give us 5.5b. Okay, then equals to what? 9,750 minus 4,8 will give us what? 4,950. 4,950. Alright, so let's solve. So then this is very simple to solve. To get our b will be equals to what? B equals to 4,950 divided by what? Divided by 5.5. Okay, so how much is that going to give us? So let's press, okay, let me even start using calculator so we can have the same thing here. Okay, so calculator. So for our calculator, so let's go. So we have 4,950 4950 divided by 5.5. That'll give me what? 900. So that's what. So my B is what? B will be 900 units. We'll now go and substitute into the other equation to get our what? 900 units. Okay. So then substitute into equation 2 that we used. Substitution equation 2 where we solve equation. So let's go and put our B in our equation 2. Okay. So B in equation 2 is what? What's our equation 2? Equation 2 is 2A. So we have 2A. We want to get the value of B. So value of A plus 3 multiplied by what? B is now 900. So put 900 here. Equals to what? Equals to how much is that? 3,900. That's okay. So let's do it. So 2A, this will be 2A plus 3 times 900 to give us 2,700. But let's confirm. 3 times 900. 3 multiplied by 900. Multiplied by 900. That's 27. Okay. So 2A plus 27. Okay, equals to what? Equals to 39. Alright. Then the next thing is to do 39 minus 27. Okay, so let's just do it. So it's 39 minus 2,700. That gives me what? Sorry, 3,900 minus 2,700. That gives me 1, 2. So 2, then to get A, that will be 1, 2 divided by what? 1, 2 divided by 2. That will give me my A. So my A will be what? 600. A will be 600. So A equals to what? 600 units. A equals to 600 units. Alright, beautiful, great. So that's my value of what? That's my value of A, 600 units. Okay. So that means the optimum production plan will be what? Optimum production plan will be to produce what? That's what? 600 of A, 600 of A, and what? Plus 900 of B to get our what? To get our maximum. So then this is in units. If we want to calculate it in contribution, we put this in our objective function that we got. Remember, our objective function is 612 of A plus 456 of B. So if we produce 612, so that will be 612 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 600. So 612 multiplied by 600. Okay. Plus the other one is what? 456 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 900. So how much should that give us? Let's press our calculator. Sorry, there's no dividend. Okay. So let's go and press our calculator. How much should that give us? So if we punch that 612 multiplied by 600, give us how much? 612 multiplied by 600 will give me 367,200. So 367,200. 367,200 plus 456 multiplied by 900. 456 multiplied by 900. That will give me what? 410,400. 410,400. 410,400. So let's add it up. 367,200 plus 410,400 will give me how much? Plus 410 plus 367. 367,200. That'll give me 777,600. So let's put that 777,600. 777,600. That's my what? That's my total profit. Okay, or contribution. No, that's my contribution. So if this is my contribution and they ask us to, so my contribution is going to be how much? 77600. Then if we want to get the total profit, we will remove our what? Our fixed overhead or fixed cost. Fixed overhead. Our fixed overhead is how much? Let's check our question. Fixed overhead is how much? Let me see. Fixed overhead, where are you? Okay. Alright, that's 600,000 naira per month. Yeah, this is the question. 600,000 naira per month. Okay, fixed overhead cost 600,000. So my total profit will be how much? So let's do that. So 600,000. So minus 600,000. So if you remove that, that will give you how much? 177,600. That's my profit. My profit from what? From it. If I want to maximize or using my what? My linear programming. Alright, so that's that. So that's how many marks we have gotten now. So 5 plus 5, that's 10. Okay, then let's look at the next one that we have to calculate. Okay, 5 plus 5 plus 10. Okay, alright, so 5 plus 5, that's 10. Okay, now Says now, management is now considering negotiating overtime work with both skilled and unskilled labor. Advise management on what the maximum amount should be offered per hour overtime, especially for skilled and for unskilled labor. Okay, this time they're asking us to calculate what we call what shadow price. Shadow price that we use to calculate how much is going to be for what for both skilled and unskilled what unskilled labor. So what we're going to do is this time around we are going to do it this way. So this is what we call, so learn how to, this also you have to calculate shadow price. Okay, shadow price. Okay, so for our shadow price, what do we do? The first thing is that we are going to this our function for what for skilled and unskilled labor. We are going to turn it to x and y. So we say let x represent skilled, y will represent what, y will represent unskilled. Okay, then we do our simultaneous equation again, but this time around we change the function. What, remember we said the first one is 5a, where is the function, where are you? Okay, so where are you? Okay, so we have 5a plus 2b, right, equals to 4.8. This time around we call it 5x, we change to a 5x plus 2y. Okay, equals to what, 5x plus 2y equals to, now we now use what, we now use our contribution that we got, not the available hours. So remember our contribution for A will be what, 612, and we said contribution for B is what, 456. So the next one is 2x, remember is 2a plus what, 2a plus 3b, but it's now going to be 2x plus 3y equals to what, equals to 456, which is the other what, other one. Then we solve just like we did for the other one. So we multiply equation 1, equation 2 by 2.5. So let's do it again. So that will give us what, this will give us 5x. So 2 times 2.5 will give us 5x plus 3 times 2.5 will give us 7.5y, still the same thing, but this time around the other one will change. 456 multiplied by 2.5, let's press calculator. 456 multiplied by 2.5, that will give us how much? That will give us 1140. So let's have that here, 1140. Okay, then like we did for the other one, subtract equation 3, or let's just say equation 3 minus equation 1. Equation 3 minus equation 1, equation 1. That will give me how much? So let's look at this again. Equation 3 minus equation 1 will be what? Okay, so for equation 3, that's our 5x. So x, this will be 0 plus what's our y? That's 7.5 minus 2.5, that will be 5.5y, which is the same thing like what we did the other time. 5.5y, then equals to what? Equals to 7 plus 5.5y equals to, again, 1140 minus 456. 1140 minus 456, that will give me what, 684. No, am I sure? 140 minus 456, I'm coming, equation 1, sorry, minus 612. 1140 minus 612, sorry, not equation 2 minus 612, that will give me what, 528. Okay, so equals to what, 528. And to get our x will be what, or sorry, get our y will be what, y equals to what, that's 528 divided by 5.5. So 528 divided by 5.5, that will give me what, that will give me 96. So my y is going to be what, 96. Then substitute into equation what, into equation 2, just like we did for the other time. Substitute equation 2. So equation 2 is what, 2x plus 3y. So that will be 2x plus 3 multiplied by what, multiplied by 96 that we got now. Okay, equals to what, equals to 456. Okay, so 2x plus 3 multiplied by 96, let's do that. 3 multiplied by 96 will give me 288. So 2x plus 288 equals to what, 456. Alright, so then we minus it. So then 2x, then 456 minus 288 will give us how much? 456 minus 288, 168. Then divided by 2, our x is going to be what? X is 84. Our x will be what? X will be 84. So I've gotten the value of both x and what? y. So 84. So in other words, to get the maximum hourly rate, we should pay skilled labor how much? We should pay them our y is what? Our y is 96 and our x is what? X is 80. I'm coming. Sorry, give me a minute. And what did we get for our y? We got 96 and we got 84. Okay. Then for skilled labor, I'm coming. Give me a minute. Skilled labor. Where's our skilled labor? Let me check the question. Our skilled labor is how much? For each. Skilled labor is, I'm coming. Give me a minute. Our skilled labor is 144 here per hour, and then we got what? The first one we got how much? 144. What was we got? Sorry, 144 plus, where are you? 84. All right, great. So for now, our skilled labor is X, right? We said our skilled labor is X. So to get maximum, we do it like this. Our skilled labor, we should pay what? We'll pay. Now let's go back to the question. How much do you normally pay per hour for skilled labor? We do that for grade. So for grade, our skilled labor is what? 144. So you now do your 144 plus what you just got now, which is what? 84. That will give you how much? If you press your calculator, 144 plus 84 will give you how much? Let's check. 144 plus 84 will give me how much? 228. So I have 228 here. 228. Then for unskilled will be how much? How much is unskilled for A? For grade A, I'm sorry, for both is 60 naira per hour. So add the 60 plus what we just got. 60 plus what's the value of our y? Our y is how much? Our y is where are you? What did we get for y? Okay, see here, y is what? 96. 60 plus 96 will give us how much? Let's check that. Okay, 60 plus 96. 60 plus 96 will give me 156. So I have what? 156 here. 156. 156. So that's the value of my what? My both my skilled and what? Unskilled labor. Both my skilled and what? Unskilled labor. All right, great. So we've done that. Then lastly, they asked us to still do one more thing. Okay, which is what? So where are you? Then lastly, we asked okay, then we have done A, we have done B, we have gotten 15 marks, 5 marks. Assume that the company has the choice of producing either grade A or grade B, but not both. That means they cannot choose both. Calculate which grade of the varnish should be produced in order to maximize contribution and what quantity to also what to produce. Okay, so let's go. So to produce that, how are we going to go about it? For we are going to do a small table. Okay, let me open a new sheet for that. Okay, so all right, to open a new sheet, so we have, let's have here, we have A, okay, and we have what? We have B. Okay, no, let me put space. So I'll show you how we are going to get those figures A, and then we have what? We have B. So let's start from material X. So calculate for material X first. Material X, okay. So how much is our material X? Our material X is, let's look at it together. Where's our material X? So now our material X, to do this, we are going to go back to our question. Another question, let's go to material. So where's our question? We'll go back to our maximum or available hours. We have 2,500 for what? For A. And then remember that we said for material A, we are going to, we have 480 divided by 2, that's 240. That will give us what? 2. We are going to divide this 25 by this 480 divided by 240. So that will be what? That will be 2,500 divided by 2. That will give us how much? This is 1,250. Okay. Then for B, remember that for B we said, let's go back to our B. Okay, let's just use our functions that we have to make it simpler. So we have 2 of x and b. Remember our constraint from our constraint function for our constraint. Let's go back to it. This is it. So 2a plus 1b. So 1b will be what? 25 divided by what? 25 divided by 1. So we have this will be 2,500 divided by 1. That will give us what? 2,500 for this. Then for skilled labor, for our skilled labor is going to be how much? What's the total hours available given in the question? We have what? We have 4/8. So that will be 4/8 divided by what? What's our first? 4/8 divided by, so we have 5a here. So 4/8 divided by 5. 4/8 divided by 5. Okay. 4/8 divided by 5. Sorry. 4/8 divided by 4/8 divided by 5. Okay. So how much would that? Sorry, I'm not asking you to sum it for me. 4/8 divided by 5. That will give you how much? 4/8 divided by 5 will give you 960. Okay. So it will be 960. Then this 4/8 divided by, what's the other one? 4/8 divided by, let's go back to our, for the b part, b is what? B is 2. 4/8 divided by 2 divided by 2. 4,800 divided by 2. You give me how much? That's 24. Okay, 2,400. Let's go down on skilled labor. On skilled labor will be how much? Skilled labor. My unskilled labor, that's how much? My unskilled labor will be what? 39 divided by 2. Okay, remember, let's check it out here. This is 39, then this is 2. Remember, is for unskilled labor is 2 and 3. So okay, so 39 divided by 2 will give us how much? 1,900. And then this divided by 39 divided by what? By 3 will give us how much? 1,300. Then lastly, we have what? Machine hours. Machine hours. So for our machine hours, we have how much machine hours? This is 5,000. Check the question. You can see it here. We have 5,000 divided by what? Divided by 2. 5,000 to give you how much? 2,500. Okay. Then this we have what? We have 5,000 divided by what? Divided by, what's the last? Sorry, 5,000 divided by, let's check, by 4. 5,000 divided by 4. That will give me how much? That, oh sorry, 5,000 divided by 4 will give me how much? 5 by 4 gives me how much? It gives me 1,250. So it's very simple. What we're going to do is we're now going to look at all these combinations that we have, and we're going to pick the one that gives us the lowest what? Value. That's what we are going to what? We are going to produce. Okay, so we're going to use, so this is, if you check it, this 960. So let's pick this 960, and here you have your what? 1,250. So that's what we're going to use. So the maximum of each grade that we can use is what? Is 960 and what? And 960 and 1,250 for grade A and grade B. That's the maximum quantity. Then the next thing is they ask us to also calculate it in price. To calculate that is very simple. In amount, so you have grade A. Grade A is very simple. 960 multiplied by what? Your total contribution, which is what? 612. So if you press 960 by 2 on calculation, you get 587 what? 587,500. That's how much we make. Then for grade B, grade B will be how much? Grade B will be 1,250 multiplied by 456. That will give me how much? So 1,250 will give me how much? 570,000. All right. So and that's how to solve this question on linear programming. Please, like I always say, if you have not yet understood this question, take your book and biro after you have watched this and try and solve on your own as many times as possible till you get it. That's when it sticks. All right. Thank you.